Are you tired of all the uneducated noise you're getting from the droves of YOLO meme coin peddling douchebag gurus out there trying to use you as their exit liquidity? Would you rather learn a competent university level set of skills that will guide you in managing and investing for the rest of your life? Join us 3 days a week at Digital Investor. Develop your knowledge of game theory, cognitive bias, macroeconomics, monetary theory, investment theory, psychology of the crowds, and more. For more info on Digital Investor and how it can help you, reach out at nickblacknext.com.
Brandon.
Did you? I think I was doing too much. It just rocked my world. That was hilarious. I don't know if it's pure coincidence or not, but anyway, we'll explain what I was doing later today. Anyway, you guys don't need to know. It was all behind the scenes.
Oh, snap.
You guys probably saw and we've mentioned this in a couple of chats too, the Hypercycle node manager. So we graded out for a little bit there because what Hypercycle did was they limited the amount of hyper shares that could be created. And I think this was because they just, in case something went wrong, they wanted to be able to upgrade the contract if they needed to. So they limited the amount of hyper shares that could be created to 1,024. They increased that limit. And so now we should be good to go here. And you should be able to create hyper shares again. But, oh no, we don't want that.
Whoa, that's like looking into the future.
That's crazy. I'm in my garage, obviously. So, yeah, but that's okay. So now you should be able to create hypershares again. So what happens when you create a hypershare? Obviously, you get all your RNS tokens, and we talked about this a little bit last time. I guess HyperPG has a DApp. I tried using it this morning. It's definitely, it gets the job kind of done. They're using a different contract than we are, and their contract, what it does is it kind of auto delegates and correct me, and I'm saying this to anybody who's listening, who's in the Hypercycle chat, because they're going to yell at me later if I'm wrong. But correct me if I'm wrong. But their DApp, when you create your hypershare, and this is what we're testing today, it takes a part of your revenue tokens immediately. And I don't know if it tells you that they're going to do that or not, but actually it doesn't. Like I went through the whole process and it doesn't. So it takes your R tokens. So you get a percentage of your R tokens immediately. And what happens is your hypershare is actually locked in their contract. So you don't technically own it anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if you can even divorce your hypershare if you create it over there or not. Because over at Node Market, you can divorce it, which I think that's a good thing, because then if you wanted to unwind your tokens and need to sell your tokens and your license for whatever reason, you can do that. And so I think that's a good thing. But I think over their contract, they don't want you to unwind it ever.
Maybe and because they're using their tokens for the tilling at HyperPG.
Well, no, that's not. No, that's not the case, because you're using your tokens for it required me to put my tokens in.
Oh, right.
So it required, so your tokens are gone and your license is gone, and it's wrapped up in their contract. They take some R tokens, which is 30%. They take 30% of your R tokens, because I think they're going to start tilling it on their hardware. And then I don't know that you have much control after that either, but I'm going to check it out. So don't like hold me to that or anything. I'm going to check it out today. But ours, you have like total control over everything, which could be good. And maybe some people don't want that too. So we're going to be discussing, we have a team meeting later today where we're going to be discussing if we want to be able to let users on Node Market delegate their licenses somewhere. And so we have to write a contract for that. And what that will end up doing is it'll look like you'll plug it into our DApp. It'll take some R tokens for whoever's providing the hardware, and it'll let us manage the software string and be able to plug that in. And then, so I have a meeting with some hardware providers next week to be able to do all this as well. So they'll be like the hardware provider. Anyway, it's like a whole thing for Node Market holders. But as of now, like you get 100% control over your hypershares, which I think is good. But then, like I said, that's the difference that we're talking if you delegate over, or if you like create it through their DApp. But their DApp is super kind of like, just the UI is not very like user friendly, but I think they're going to work on that. I don't know. But I mean, our UI, it kind of walks you through each step. It has visual images and stuff, which I'm very proud of. And theirs is just like, it just shows the strings of numbers, which are kind of okay, I guess, if you know how to read that way, but it's cool. Anyway, so
I
I
mean,
just wanted to,
if you read in binary.
yeah, I mean, yeah, if you read the binary code, it's just kind of hard to see. And then I refreshed a few times, then it didn't show my licenses. And now, honestly, I can't find my hypershare. So I'm going to connect my wallet over at NodeMarket and see if I can see my hypershare that I created over on HyperPG. I'm curious to see. Anyway, so I'm kind of testing all that stuff out just to kind of see how it goes, integrating back and forth. Because honestly, at the end of the day, we want to work. We want everybody to succeed in Hypercycle, whether you guys do it over there, whether you do it over here, anywhere. We're going to help facilitate Hypercycle. We want Hypercycle to succeed with everything. So that's my goal. Anyway.
Does anybody use Firefox?
No.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've never used Firefox. I mean, not in many years. Okay, but I paid for it already without the hypershare, so will I have to pay again? That question's out of context. So when you guys are putting a comment, remember that the comment shows up like several seconds after the discussion. And so that means that if you respond to something and then it's 8 or 10 seconds and then we talk for a minute, now you're a minute and 8 to a minute and 10 seconds behind. And without context, we don't know what you're talking about. So,
oh, and just to answer this, I'm just going to try to answer this. What do you mean paid for the hypershare? You paid the gas fees to make the hypershare? That you'll have to do over there or over here. No matter what, you'll have a hypershare created, okay? Whether you do it at NodeMarket or over there. The only thing over there, it's going to take your R tokens, 30% of them, and it's going to lock it in their contract so they can manage it, kind of. And then over here, you just have full ownership. You won't have to recreate it. You'll just have to redelegate, which might be like a $3 transaction somewhere. Again, which isn't like, this is a business. We're getting up and running here. And so it's like, yeah. Anyway.
I had somebody that was doing a $270,000 transaction. And they said, hey, let's wait till the Ethereum gas prices come down so it's cheaper.
I've seen this before. I've had people do that too.
You mean from $6 a transaction to $4?
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense. Let's wait. We'll wait.
So you paid for hypershares but didn't get any.
Do you mean what? Do you mean you paid for licenses? You bought licenses?
Everything is now contract based, especially at NodeMarket. Like you'll get your licenses immediately, and if you do the hypershares, you'll get them. Like there's no somebody said this halfway when they got that error message. So this is actually good. This is good teaching because somebody messaged me when they got that error message yesterday. Because Hypercycle had limited their contract, so it pops up an error on NodeMarket. And it's like you can't create a hypershare. So somebody emails me and is like, you took my licenses and you took my tokens. And I didn't get a hypershare. And I'm like, well, no. So what happens when the error message happens? It stops everything and it reverts. It actually says that in the error message, transaction reverted. So you have your licenses and your tokens back, or your token stack back in your wallet. Okay. We didn't take them and they're still there. And if you're creating a token stack and it fails for whatever reason, we don't take your tokens. Your tokens are still in your wallet and you just don't have the token stack. So
we don't ever take anything.
That's true. So if you're creating something and it doesn't work, we don't take it. It doesn't just disappear. It's either in your wallet or it's not. And it goes to the next step, which the last step's the hypershare. And you'll have to go to Node Manager. You'll look at your hypershares. You don't even need the Node Manager to view your hypershares. I don't think you can just view them in there. So anyway. Hopefully that made sense. I'm trying to explain this in a way, but basically it's very simple. And on our process, like you can't get lost anywhere along the way. It like picks up where you left off too. Like it is so clean. I want to tell you how beautiful our process is. Those of you who use both, you'll see the side by side. Like I've used both and I can see. Okay, so so here we go. If you married, then it's done. It took my money for the fees, but I never got my
doesn't work that way.
I don't think that's true. You can share your wallet with me, email me your wallet or whatever, and I can look into it. But if you want to do that, that's fine. We'll do that. And then I'll just kind of look at it and see what you have or don't have. and see where you're at in the process.
Because now with like even MetaMask reverts fees, it walks you through the whole process where it reverts fees when the transaction fails. So there is no third state. It either happened and the fees were utilized, or it didn't happen and the fees revert to your wallet. Those are the only two states. There's not a third state where you lost your transaction fees and nothing else happened. That doesn't exist. But maybe this is the one time that it does. Anyway.
So view linked node. I don't know what that is, but I'll check. I can't remember that being on there. Set message is where you set the software that is on the hardware that you're going to be tilling on. So that's already set right now. So you guys already have yours all set. That's why we haven't done like a video on it, because we don't want anybody messing with it. I'm shocked at how much you guys try messing around with. One of the DPCs already like sent their RNS tokens off into oblivion. They're like, well, now I have 0 RNS tokens, and where I sent them to, it just doesn't show anything. And then I'm like, well, oh man, they're trying to do things without understanding what they're doing. And so it's impressive that they're trying.
Should we put like one of those electricity, like those red lightning bolt buttons where they can hover over and just says, don't do anything with this. Just don't do anything with this.
Maybe for real, because I would just wait. But good for you guys for trying stuff. Oh, what they did is they sent the hypershare. And what that ends up doing, if you send the hypershare, it'll send, what it does is it changes ownership of that string. Remember that Hypercycle didn't make a 721 for these. So it changes ownership of that string, and the RNS tokens stay in the original wallet. So now the hypershare transfers with 0 RNS tokens, and so it controls nothing. And then the RNS tokens have 0 control either, because they don't have the hypershare. So it's like, don't separate those.
They become uncorrelated.
Yeah, don't separate those yet at all. Yeah, I did a tech tip video, and it should be like, just make the hypershare. That's it for now.
Bam. Okay. I don't think I understand what you mean when you say sent R tokens. Is that how we get paid? By sending R tokens? No. Don't do anything. God, don't anybody do anything at all right now. If this is confusing, this is another thing. If any of this is confusing, don't do it. Stop. There's no rush. We've said this for a long time. Do not rush. If you're doing stuff you don't understand, don't fucking do it. Stop. Is anybody missing am I burying the headline? Am I not being clear enough? Fucking stop. If you don't understand what you're doing, just stop. No one's losing out on anything. No one's, except that we lost Filecoin now, apparently.
You sent that message, huh? I was wondering why Filecoin was the only coin that was down today.
So everybody stop. Everybody stop. Don't do anything. If you don't have to rush into any of this. We'll walk you through all of it slowly. That's the whole point. You don't have to rush on any of this stuff. And I'm not beating up on 11. I'm saying for everybody. I get messages all the time. Hey, I did this. Why'd you do that? Well, because why? Don't do nothing. Do nothing. Do what my uncle does for a job. Nothing. How he's employed. I don't know how he's employed. He's a lawyer. He's like a corporate lawyer. He's a douche. He's on my scumbag grandmother's side.
What happened to Filecoin? Oh, we can talk about that later, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I guess we'll bring it up. So Filecoin is in a partnership with Singularity Net, and then I guess by the transited property with ASI also in this tiered 3-step process where it looks like, no, Filecoin's not joining the alliance. We'll talk about it behind the wall.
How about that?
Yeah, we'll talk about it behind the wall. I have the article, so does Brandon. But essentially, Filecoin is going to be in a weird kind of partnership. I don't understand these. If I get AT&T phone service, that's not a partnership. I guess I'm just confused. Like everything's marketed as a partnership. This is Singularity Net's doing what Chainlink does. They get some concrete work done in the front of their building, and they're like, we've partnered with Concrete Maximum stores to do to pay our bill. Yeah, you partnered to pay your bill. So Singularity Net's going to use Filecoin for some cool stuff because Filecoin is cool, right? Filecoin has a lot of value, so it's going to use Singularity Net's just using Filecoin. I don't know why this is a partnership. That part's not clear to me because even when you read it, it doesn't. Filecoin's not using Singularity Net. Singularity Net's using Filecoin. Guess what? Everybody here can use Filecoin. You can go take files and store them there and parse them out, do all sorts of real cool stuff. And that's awesome. You can take a server and make it into a Filecoin miner. I actually thought about doing that, becoming a Filecoin miner, because for a while it was really profitable when Filecoin was like $200. It's not as profitable at $3 to be honest. But
No.
yeah. So these deals, man, and I get these messages in the chat sometimes like, oh, look at this partnership. It's always it's usually Chainlink and Polygon. Those are the ones, those are like the two kind of the typical partnership kind of pandering. God. Does this partnership make you excited, Brandon?
I've never been this excited in my life. This is strange. I woke up and instantly got excited.
I'm giddy. Giddy as hell.
Hey, Howard, it's going good today. Thanks.
No, so we still like Filecoin and we still like, we like anything in the data space because data is going to become pretty important. And they're already, the problem, a lot of these large language models and multimodal models and, just this race for naive compute means you need a lot of data. And they're already having to use synthetic data and try to get data that is kind of homogeneous and basically use synthetic data to create synthetic data for AI to ingratiate. So,
yeah,
or imbibe. Yeah, you want to imbibe. It's like you put like a needle in or something, and like just pump it in there. But so if there's a race for data, then there's going to be a race for data protection, things like that. And you don't want some, Library of Alexandria event where in 3 days, a bunch of hooligans light on fire like 8,000 years of human history, never to return. So anyway, Filecoin's good. That's not an investment advice. That's just that I like it. Hey, Brandon, we're both wearing Filecoin blue today.
That's right. We're celebrating the birth of a new partnership.
Woohoo! All right. Do we have any other? It's Joseph. You're not the deputy of this. Neil is the deputy of this.
Neil must be gone. Let's get behind the wall.
Wait a minute. Who was his? No. Joseph, you're not a deputy. I'm sorry. This would fall on. I think it would fall onto Howard, who would be like a federale.
Let's see. I think Howard mentioned wall. I think he just said wall. He yelled at us and then mentioned wall.
Did he? That son of a bitch.
He complained about not answering any of his messages, but he never, like, I scrolled up for a ways and he never asked like any questions or anything like, of substance.
And he doesn't like to swear.
No, I know that.
Oh, wait. Damn it. Damn you, Howard. A wall.
Yeah.
Oh, no. The deputy has spoken.
James is here. Good.
Yep. That's it.
Let's rock
That's
and
all,
roll.
folks. Okay. Well, off we go.
There's kind of a lot going on, actually. So let's get behind the wall because I want to talk about the deets, all the deets, and then we can discuss the market.
We're going to talk about the Germans.
Huh?
The Germans.
Nine.
In Germany, 6 is sex.
Say.
Well, apparently the Germans don't have any 6. Get it?
That's how many Bitcoin they have left. 6 Bitcoin.
Do you ever make a cool double entendre and you feel pretty good about it, and then it's missed on the person that you gave it to?
Then nobody all the time.
You're just staring at him like, what are you some kind of
you don't
animal?
Get it?
Don't you realize I just gave you a gift, a grammar gift? I nailed two double entendres. First word was a double entendre. Second word was a double entendre.
Ooh, that's a quadruple. That's a quadruple entendre.
It's a double entendre squared. You don't see that in nature. You don't see it. It's almost unnatural. I did that. I got crickets on the other end. Crickets. I was like, don't you realize what you were just exposed to? What kind of greatness this is? Ah, man. All right. That's it. That's all. I don't know why
That's
that.
hilarious. Oh, geez. Here we go.
I'm very, very prideful, my double entendre.
Yeah, doubles.
right. Okay, well, we got to make our little transition now. So for those of you, freebies hanging out, we love you. We hate to see you go, but don't let the door hit you where the good Lord splits you.
We're going behind the proverbial wall now to continue the broadcast privately for the digital investors and digital private clients. If you'd like to join us, simply go to nickblacknext.com and subscribe to one of our plans and immediately take advantage of our library of tools, tactics, and information. It's all designed to help you learn, grow, and manage your portfolio like a pro. Join us now.
Ooh. Facebook, you're gone. Deuces. We have 2 people on Twitch. See you later, Twitches.
Yay! 2 people on Twitch.
Twitch out, my Twitcher. What up, Twitch? Look at these Twitches.